During his time with Cash Money, Wayne and Birdman's relationship would go from Wayne rapping to his future father figure via telephone to Wayne and his future father figure kissing on the lips. To the general public, Wayne was seen as the next big up-and-coming rapper, aiding Cash Money Records and taking over for the 99 and 2000. On the contrary, Birdman would see Wayne as his own son, or so he claims, taking the then teen under his wing while mentoring him in the rap game and apparently rubbing his ashy hands together awaiting for his son to come around and plant a big old smooch on his mouth. Like for instance, that one time on Rap City in 2002, or that one time on 106 in Park, when Wayne confessed that he was the only person Bird kisses. That one time on that one set, or in that one viral pic that circulated like hot fire in 2006. Reports and rumors of the two's Too Close for Comfort union would be plastered across headlines, and questions about their sexuality have been brought up for years. On top of the already questionable relationship, clips of Wayne's documentary, The Carter, has resurfaced of Wayne telling one of his minor artists on his Young Money distribution label about the time Birdman & Co. insisted on having an 11-year-old Wayne groomed and seduced by a much older woman. During the time Wayne wanted out of his contractual duties with Cash Money, lawsuits would be filed, and subsequently, rumors of Birdman setting up his quote-unquote son to be killed during a concert in Miami would begin to circulate. It's clear there's a lot of unpacking to do here. So let's get into Wayne and Birdman's incestuous relationship. Before he'd even set foot inside of a middle school cafeteria, Lil Wayne, who was only known as Dwayne Carter at the time, had big aspirations of becoming a rapper. Somehow, crossing paths with record label co-founder Lil Slim in the year 1991 would have Wayne that much closer to accomplishing his goals. Wanting to build their label, it would be through Slim that Wayne would get the chance to meet Slim's brother and co-founder of their record label, Cash Money Records, Birdman, all before Wayne's 9th birthday. With his mom completely against the idea of her son dabbling into a field not so positively glamorized, this would only make him want to work harder at turning his rapper fantasy into his reality. After some time of Wayne trying to prove his worth to Birdman, he'd finally allow Wayne to officially join his label, Cash Money Records. At this time, Wayne would only be 12 years old, but had been placed into a duo group that went by the name BGs. The stint would last very short, and he'd later be placed into the Hot Boys group alongside fellow Cash Money artists BG, Young Turk, and Juvenile. During this too, Wayne would officially sign a solo contract with the label, and would also be during this time where Bird and Wayne's relationship would go from a child rapper looking up to his older rapper peer for rap guidance to a now teen looking up to his main mentor as a father figure. During his adolescence, Wayne says his father wasn't in his life, and it'd be his stepdad, Reginald, who had stepped in and fulfilled that role until his untimely death. No one really ever questioned Bird and Wayne about their close relationship. However, that would all change in 2002. Appearing on an episode of Rap City hosted by Big Tigger, Birdman & Co. could be seen sitting nonchalantly on a couch, talking and answering Big Tigger's questions, till later on in the show, we see a young Wayne and a few others enter the room. Everything seems fine and normal at first, until Birdman begins to dap Wayne up, slowly lingering before Wayne hesitantly gives him a kiss. Wildly enough, it seemed like no one else in the room seemed to be fazed by the surprise greeting. Luckily for them, social media and the internet weren't huge platforms back then. So although people who missed this particular episode of Rap City still heard about it through word of mouth, it wasn't really blown out of proportion. A one and done deal, right? Wrong. Wayne, coming up as hip-hop's most sought-after rapper at the time being, of course, would make people focus even harder. During the early 2000s, Cash Money Records had become one of hip-hop's most popular labels, with acts like Juvenile and Wheezy on their roster. That is, till about the year 2005. Wayne, being the only remaining OG member from the label's breakout early years, had gotten a taste of what it meant to run his own label, establishing a distribution label known as Young Money, home to the likes of Nicki Minaj and Drake back in 2003. 2005 would also be the year his fourth studio album, The Carter, had been released, and financial issues within the label were speculated when Wayne had begun to flirt with the idea of leaving his Cash Money family in favor of a $175,000 offer given by Jay-Z, who planned on signing Wayne to his Rockefeller Records label. During a live interview, Birdman and Wayne had appeared on BET's 106 in Park to promote their song and album of the same name, Stuntin' Like My Daddy. During the broadcast, the show's host, Free, had asked Birdman about his grills and whether or not he could kiss other people with the gold in his mouth. In response, Wayne boldly and very confidently, I must say, confesses that he was in fact the only person Bird kisses. But it doesn't stop there. Wayne took it upon himself to actually reach over and peck Bird smooth right on the lips, to which the cameraman actually had to zoom to a close 3. Created using Celtech's upshot of the host in order to censor the ambushed lip backing, by the looks of the host, AJ and Free faces, the kiss caught them completely off guard. You can only imagine what the live studio audience must have looked like. If their very much public kiss didn't have people talking in 2002, then this time around, it would do the trick. Headlines of Wayne's relationship with Birdman would be all over the urban and rap magazines as well as hip-hop forums. At this point, speculations were definitely heightened, with people wondering if the relationship was more than a business, father and son type of situation or something much more. Well, the rumors would only grow more intense when a behind-the-scenes photo on a video shoot set of Bird and Wayne lip-locking would go viral. At this point, the people really just want to know what was up. Birdman actually took it upon himself to respond to all the rumors, and this is what he had to say. Before I had a child, Wayne and all of them were my children. Wayne to me is my son, my firstborn son, and that's what it do for me. That's my life, that's my love, and that's my thing. That's my little son. I love him to death. In recent years, clips of Wayne with Birdman seem to resurface every 2 to 5 business days. Now that these videos and pics of them kissing were out there, people began to put on their tinfoil hats and began dissecting their relationship even further. In a recently resurfaced clip taken from Wayne's 2009 The Carter documentary, Wayne is seen talking to one of his 15-year-old artists, Little Twist, where he asked the 15-year-old why he has yet to have any sexual relations. Unprovoked, he then goes on to disclose about the first time he himself had a sexual encounter, further going on to say that it was in a dorm room full of adults. Birdman included who then pressured a woman to perform sexual acts on then an 11-year-old Wayne. As you may have already guessed, this sparked a huge debate about the role Birdman played in Wayne's life. Some even going as far to say that Wayne had been groomed by Birdman since childhood. Flash forward to the end of 2014. If the waters over at Cash Money weren't evidently turbulent before, we'd find out that Wayne was in the middle of suing Cash Money for $51 and a string of back-to-back tweets of him million alerting his following about his Cash Money contract, ultimately comparing it to a prison sentence. He tweeted, "To all my fans, I want you to know that my album won't and hasn't been released because Baby and Cash Money Records refused to release it. This is not my fault. I am truly and deeply sorry to all my fans, but most of all, to myself and my family for putting us in this situation." He then went on to say, "I want off this label and nothing to do with these people. But unfortunately, it ain't that easy. I'm a prisoner, and so is my creativity. Again, I am truly sorry, and I don't blame you if you're fed up with waiting for me in this album, but thank you." Given the fact that this wasn't Wayne's first time speaking out about potentially leaving the label, in his 2011 mixtape not affiliated with Cash Money, he referred to the label he'd been signed to since a wee child as a garden full of snakes that he had to escape from. Despite his manager coming out to say that Wayne had intentions on leaving the label, we sure couldn't tell. It wouldn't be until April 26, 2015 when things would take a major turn for the worst. While Wayne gave a performance at the Compound in Atlanta, his tour bus was attacked by several bullets, and Birdman, along with fellow rapper Young Thug, were deemed main suspects. Despite Young Thug claiming Wayne was one of his favorite rappers of all time, a suspect IG post of him linked up with the Birdman would immediately raise red flags. A rapper who goes by the name Pee Wee Roscoe is said to have been the alleged shooter. Police spotted him at Wayne's performance earlier that night, and they say him and another member of the Blood Gang pulled up alongside Wayne's tour bus in a white 2015 Camaro before opening fire. When cops tried approaching them, they quickly sped off. Reports also state that the first person Pee Wee called was Birdman. but Birdman has denied any involvement of foul play in the incident. Fortunately, Wayne wasn't hurt in the incident and was ultimately escorted out by police. After another incident of Bird and his entourage seen throwing what looked like to be a drink at Wayne during his performance at a Miami club, but in early 2016 the two were spotted partying together, which led us to believe that the two were back on good terms. So what about those love pecks circulating in the 2000s? Those a part of the Cash Money family back in the day are a little split on what the kisses truly meant. Previous members like Young Turk have made comments stating how every guy plays gay games with their friends, and that the kiss between Bird and Wayne was more like a mob type of thing, whereas members Young Buck and Juvenile have said that any man who plays like that is suspect, and that they'd never allow Birdman to do them like how he did Wayne. Former video vixen Corrine Steffens wrote in her book how about her relationship with Wayne to make love to a Martian, who she's known since the year 2000. She said that she believes Birdman intentionally kept Wayne isolated in order to keep him dependent. Wayne seemed to be afraid to step out on his own. He feels like he can't go places and do normal people things. I always thought he exhibited traits of an abused wife. Every time Wayne would try to leave or ruffle feathers a little bit, Baby would buy him something. When Wayne considered going to Jay-Z's label, Baby gave Wayne his own label. Every birthday, there's $1 million, a new car, these extravagant gifts. In regards to the lawsuit Wayne had planned on serving, Birdman spoke to radio host Angie Martinez and claimed that it was all just some business, and that Wayne was his son and he'd do whatever Wayne wanted to do. That's not how Wayne was talking. We'll let you guys be the judge. The lawsuit was settled back in 2018, and it looks like the two are back on good terms, with the two appearing in a music video shoot in the beginning of 2021. Are you feeling Birdman's "I kiss him cause he's my son" claims? Or do you think there's way more to this story? Let us know what you think in the comment section down below.